Hi sweet friend, today we're making this soft little panda with a milk tea. Look at those round cheeks and the tiny sprout on top, it's just so sweet. If you'd like something easier to follow later, the full written pattern is in my Etsy shop, so you won't have to keep rewinding. Just take your time here, and let's make it together. I'm using DK weight yarn here, with a 2mm hook. For stuffing, just some fiberfill, and a bit of wire, and safety eyes. Feel free to use whatever you have on hand, it all works just fine. Let's start with the head. Take the white yarn and make a magic ring with 6 single crochets. Wrap the yarn around your little finger, guide it over with your index finger, and hold the crossing point. Go into the loop, pull up a strand, then gently tighten it. Just keep it relaxed here. This first chain doesn't count as a stitch. We'll place 6 single crochets into the ring. Go over the yarn, pull through, then yarn over and pull through both loops. That's 1 single crochet. We'll be using cross single crochet throughout. You can place a marker in the first stitch. Once you have 6 stitches, gently pull the ring closed. Remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Go into the stitch, hold the yarn tail along, pull through and slip through the loop. That completes the slip stitch. And that's the first round finished. It's all set. Round 2 will increase in every stitch, 2 single crochets in each stitch, making 12 in total. Chain 1 to begin, and place your marker back into the first stitch. Go back into the same stitch for another single crochet. Just repeat this all the way around. When you're done, remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 2 is complete. You can trim the extra yarn tail here if you'd like. Round 3, 1 single crochet, 1 increase. Repeat that 6 times for 18 stitches. Let's begin. Start with 1 single crochet, and mark the first stitch again. Then 1 increase. Just keep repeating this pattern, nice and steady. Once finished, remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. That's round 3 done. Round 4, 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 1 single crochet. Repeat 6 times for 24 stitches. Start with 1 single crochet, and don't forget your marker here. Then an increase, followed by 1 single crochet. Same pattern all the way around. Finish the round, remove the marker, and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. This round is set. Round 5, 3 single crochets and 1 increase. Repeat 6 times for 30 stitches. Let's keep going. Place your marker into the first stitch again. It's a simple rhythm. 3 single crochets, 1 increase, and just repeat around. Take your time here. Once you finish, remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 5 is complete. Round 6, 2 single crochets, 1 increase, 2 single crochets. Repeat that 6 times for 36 stitches. Chain 1 to begin, and place your marker into the first stitch. Work 2 single crochets, 1 increase, then 2 single crochets. Just repeat this pattern all the way around. Once you finish, remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 6 is complete. Rounds 7 to 9 are all the same. No increases or decreases, just 36 single crochets. Place your marker in the first stitch, then continue working single crochets all the way around. Nice and steady here. When you're done, remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 7 is all set. Round 8 follows exactly the same steps as round 7. Slip stitch to join when you reach the end. Round 8 is complete, and round 9 is the same again. After joining, that completes round 9. You can just settle into the rhythm here. Round 10, 10 single crochets, then 5 increase pairs, 6 single crochets, 5 increase pairs again, and 10 single crochets. 46 stitches total. Chain 1 to begin, and place your marker into the first stitch. Start with 10 single crochets. Then move into 5 increase pairs. Just keep it even. Then work another 5 increase pairs, followed by 6 single crochets. Continue with 5 more increase pairs. Take your time here. And finish the round with 10 single crochets. Remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 10 is complete. Rounds 11 to 13 are all the same. No changes, just 46 single crochets. Place your marker in the first stitch, then continue around with single crochets. Just keep a steady pace. Remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 11 is done. I'll let this part run a little quicker, just follow at your own pace here. Slip stitch to join at the end. Round 13 is all set. Round 14, 10 single crochets, 5 decrease pairs, 6 single crochets, 5 decrease pairs, and 10 single crochets. 36 stitches total. Chain 1 to begin, and place your marker into the first stitch. Work 10 single crochets, then 5 invisible decreases. Go into the front loops of 2 stitches, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through both. Just keep it smooth. You'll make 5 decrease pairs here. Then continue with 6 single crochets. Work another 5 decrease pairs. Same motion here. Finish with 10 single crochets. Remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 14 is complete. Round 15, 2 single crochets, 1 decrease, 2 single crochets. Repeat 6 times for 30 stitches. Chain 1 to begin, and place your marker into the first stitch. Work 2 single crochets, 1 decrease, then 2 single crochets. Just repeat this pattern all the way around. Once finished, remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 15 is complete. Round 16, 3 single crochets and 1 decrease. Repeat 6 times for 24 stitches. Chain 1 to begin, and place your marker into the first stitch. Work 3 single crochets, 1 decrease. Just keep the same rhythm all the way around. Remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 16 is all set. Round 17, 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, 1 single crochet. Repeat 6 times for 18 stitches. Chain 1, make your first single crochet, and place your marker. Then 1 decrease, 1 single crochet. Repeat this sequence around. Nice and steady here. Once finished, remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Chain 1 and leave a long tail here. We'll use it later for sewing. And the head is done. Let's go ahead and add some stuffing. We'll pause here for this part and move on to the next section. When stuffing, add a little more to the cheeks so the face looks round and full. Just shape it gently. For the arms, we'll use black yarn. I'll show this in a lighter color so you can see the stitches clearly. Start with a magic ring again and make 6 single crochets. Place a marker into the first stitch. Once you have 6 stitches, pull the ring closed, remove the marker, and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Press down the yarn tail as you go. That finishes the first round. Rounds 1 to 5 for the arm are all the same, 6 single crochets each round. Chain 1 to begin round 2. You can place a marker or skip it if you're comfortable. Slip stitch into the first stitch to join when you finish, and trim the extra yarn. Turn the piece to the right side now. It'll be easier before it gets longer. Chain 1, then continue the same way, just 6 single crochets, keeping your stitches even and steady. I'll let this run a little quicker here, just follow at your own pace. After joining, chain 1 and leave a short tail. We'll continue building upward, no sewing needed here. That's one arm finished. Now switch to black yarn and make a second one the same way. Next, we'll move on to the legs and body. Legs use black yarn. I'll use green here for clarity. The 2 legs are slightly different. One fastens off, the other does not. Start with a magic ring and make 6 single crochets. Place a marker in the first stitch. Pull the ring closed, remove the marker, and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Hide the tail as you go. Round 2, 1 single crochet, 1 increase. Repeat 3 times for 9 stitches. Chain 1, make your first single crochet, and place the marker. Then work the increase. Repeat this pattern 3 times. Remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 2 is complete. Round 3, 1 single crochet, 1 increase, 1 single crochet. Repeat 3 times for 12 stitches. Chain 1, make your first single crochet, and place the marker. Then single crochet, increase, single crochet. Repeat this sequence 3 times. Remove the marker, slip stitch to join, chain 1, and fasten off. That's the first leg. The second leg works a little differently. Just follow along here. For the second leg, switch to the main white yarn on the last stitch. Join the white yarn, find the first stitch, and slip stitch to secure. Just tighten it gently. Now, you can trim the extra yarn tail from the first leg. Next, we'll connect both legs and start building the body. One leg is fastened off, the other is still attached. We're now working with the white yarn. Chain 1, bring in the other leg, and align at the join point. Go into the first stitch at the join and make 1 single crochet. This becomes the first stitch of the round. Place your marker here, then continue with 24 single crochets. Just keep it even. Around the 12th stitch, there may be a small gap. Make 1 decrease here to close it up. Start a single crochet, then go into the gap, yarn over, and pull through all loops. Gently tighten it for a cleaner look. This helps close the opening nicely. Just keep it slightly snug. Then continue working single crochets on the other leg, as usual. On this side, you don't need another decrease unless the gap feels wide. Adjust as needed. Finish all 24 stitches, remove the marker, and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. And now both legs are joined together. This round is complete. Round 5, 3 single crochets and 1 increase. Repeat 6 times for 30 stitches. Chain 1 to begin, and be careful not to miss the first stitch. Place your marker there. Work 3 single crochets, 1 increase, and repeat this pattern 6 times. The first stitch near the leg join can be a little tight. Take your time and don't skip it. Once finished, remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 5 is complete. Round 6, 2 single crochets, 1 increase, 2 single crochets. Repeat 6 times for 36 stitches. Chain 1 to begin, and place your marker into the first stitch. Work 2 single crochets, 1 increase, then 2 single crochets. Repeat this all the way around. Remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 6 is complete. Rounds 7 to 9 stay the same, no increases or decreases, just 36 single crochets. Place your marker in the first stitch, then continue around with 36 single crochets. Remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 7 is all set. I'll let this part run a little quicker, just keep your own pace here. After joining, round 9 is complete. This part is nice and steady. Round 10, 2 single crochets, 1 decrease, 2 single crochets. Repeat 6 times for 30 stitches. Chain 1 to begin, and place your marker into the first stitch. Work 2 single crochets, then 1 decrease, using the same decrease method as the head, then 2 more single crochets. Repeat this sequence 6 times. Once finished, remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 10 is complete. Round 11 has no increases or decreases. 30 single crochets all the way around. Place your marker in the first stitch, then work 30 single crochets. Just keep it even here. Remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 11 is done. Round 12, 3 single crochets and 1 decrease. Repeat 6 times for 24 stitches. Chain 1 to begin, and place your marker into the first stitch. Work 3 single crochets, 1 decrease, then repeat the same pattern 6 times. Remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 12 is complete. Round 13 has 24 stitches, and we'll attach the arms as we go. 5 single crochets, attach one arm, 3 single crochets, 9 single crochets, attach the other arm, then for single crochets, chain 1 to begin, and place your marker into the first stitch. Start with 5 single crochets, then bring in the first arm. Go in from the inside of the arm near the join. Go through the inside of the arm and into the body stitch. You can hide the arm tail as you connect it. Work single crochets through both layers to secure the arm, then continue with 9 single crochets on the body. If the stitches are hard to see, turn the piece over and find the spot from the back. After those 9 single crochets, attach the second arm the same way. Go in from the inside of the arm again, and make 3 single crochets to connect it. Then finish the round with the last 4 single crochets on the body. Remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 13 is complete. Let's add a bit of stuffing inside first, then pull the loop longer. We'll get ready to insert the arm wire. When stuffing, add a little inside the legs too. Just shape it gently. Once the stuffing feels good, we'll install the arm wire, using a 2 mm shaping wire to measure the length. Leave it slightly longer, and bend one end. Fold the tip downward. Once or twice is fine, just keep it secure. Flatten the wire slightly, then insert it into the arm from one side. Match the length on the other side, then bend that end the same way. Slide it fully through from the other side to secure it. Once the wire is in place, we'll move into the final round. Round 14, 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, 1 single crochet. Repeat 6 times for 18 stitches. Chain 1 to begin, and place your marker into the first stitch. Work 1 single crochet, 1 decrease, then 1 single crochet. Repeat this all the way around. When working near the arms, make your decreases right at that area. Keep your stitches a little tighter here. Once finished, Remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Chain 1, leave a short tail, and fasten off. No need for a long tail here. Tighten the yarn and shape the arms. If needed, add a bit more stuffing to keep everything nice and full. Set the body aside for now. We'll sew it to the head later. For the ears, we'll use black yarn. I'll show this in green so the stitches are easier to see. Start with a magic ring and make 5 single crochets. Place your marker into the first stitch. Once you have 5 stitches, pull the ring closed. No need to slip stitch here. Remove the marker, chain 1, and turn the piece over. Round 2, 1 single crochet, then 3 increased pairs, and 1 single crochet at the end. Work 1 single crochet, then 3 increased pairs, and finish with 1 single crochet. Just follow the flow. Chain 1, leave a longer tail for sewing, and fasten off. One ear is done. Make a second ear the same way. They should match nicely. Next, we'll make the small grass detail on top. Start with 7 chain stitches. Hold the yarn tail, leave a short end, and begin your chain. The starting knot doesn't count as a stitch. Continue chaining until you have 7 stitches. Keep it even. Now work back from the second chain. Go into the second stitch and pick up 1 loop. Make 1 single crochet, then 2 half double crochets. For half double crochet, yarn over, go into the stitch, and pull through all 3 loops. Repeat twice. In the next stitch, make 1 slip stitch. Chain 5, then work back the same way. 1 single crochet and 2 half double crochets. After forming the second piece, make 1 slip stitch. Return to the starting chain and make slip stitches into the last 2 stitches. Chain 1, leave a long tail for sewing, and fasten off. Tighten and shape it gently. The top grass detail is now complete. For the cup, start with a magic ring, and make 6 single crochets. Place your marker into the first stitch. Once you have 6 stitches, pull the ring closed. Remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Press down the yarn tail as you go. That completes the first round of the cup. Round 2, 6 increased pairs, 12 stitches in total. Chain 1 to begin, and place your marker into the first stitch. Go back into the same stitch for another single crochet. That's 1 increase. Repeat this increase all the way around. Remove the marker and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Round 2 is complete. Round 3, work into the back loop only. 12 single crochets, no changes. The back loop is the loop farther away from you. Chain 1, go into the back loop only, and work 12 single crochets. Place your marker in the first stitch. Continue around the same way, then remove the marker and slip stitch to join. Round 3 is done. Rounds 4 to 7 are the same, 12 single crochets each round. Chain 1 to begin. This time go through both loops and place your marker in the first stitch. Continue around with single crochets. Slip stitch to join at the end. Round 4 is complete. I'll let this part run a little quicker. Just keep your own pace here. We'll finish with an invisible join instead of a regular slip stitch. Pull the yarn through, twist slightly, and go from the inside into the last stitch. Bring the yarn through. Gently tighten, then go into the center of the first stitch. Pull the yarn to the back. That gives you a clean, invisible finish. Weave in the tail along the stitches, then trim. The cup is now complete. Next, we'll make the lid. Start with a magic ring and 7 single crochets. Place your marker into the first stitch. Pull the ring closed, remove the marker, and slip stitch to join. Press the yarn tail down. That completes the first round of the lid. Round 2, 7 increase pairs. Chain 1 to begin. Place your marker into the first stitch. Work another single crochet into the same stitch. Repeat this increase 7 times. Remove the marker and slip stitch to join. Round 2 is complete. Round 3, back loop only, 14 single crochets. Chain 1, work into the back loop, and place your marker. Continue the 14 stitches. slip stitch to join. Round 3 is done. Round 4, no changes, 14 single crochets. Place your marker in the first stitch and continue around with single crochets. Remove the marker, leave a tail, and prepare for an invisible join. Go into the first stitch, pull the yarn through and tighten, then secure through the last stitch. Use a needle if needed. Weave in the tail and trim, the lid is complete. Now we'll sew the head to the body. Thread the long tail from the head onto a needle. Align the head and body, match the join edges before sewing. Start stitching, 1 stitch on the body and 1 on the head. Alternate stitches evenly. Keep the stuffing in place as you sew. Adjust as you go. Keep the head centered and straight. After a few stitches, gently pull the yarn to tighten. Once fully sewn, hide the yarn tail inside and trim the excess. And now the head and body are neatly joined together. You can use pins or a needle to help find the center of the head. Right between the cheek increases, there are 6 stitches. That marks the center of the face. Start by placing the ears loosely. Just find a position that feels balanced. The ears sit between the 3rd and 4th rounds from the top, and each ear spans about 4 stitches. Match the other side the same way. Check the spacing so both sides stay even. Once everything looks centered, you can start sewing the ears in place. Thread your needle and sew stitch by stitch. Just take your time here. Go back and forth a few times to secure the ear firmly. Bring the yarn to the back, then weave it along the stitches to hide it. Trim the excess and tuck the tail inside. Repeat the same steps for the other ear. Next, we'll attach the small grass detail. Thread the tail and place it at the top center. Sew it down in place. As long as it feels secure, you're good. When finishing, bring the other tail through as well. You can go through the same stitch or shift slightly. Tuck the extra yarn inside. The top detail is all set. Now let's assemble the cup and lid. You can add a little stuffing inside, or leave it empty. Take a shaping wire, bend the end slightly, and insert it into the cup. Use the wire as a straw and bring it out through the center of the lid. Leave about 4 centimeters for the straw. Adjust the height as needed. Once you're happy with the length, secure it with glue or stitches. Attach the lid to the cup, then gently adjust the shape. It's starting to come together. Place the eyes and mouth. The mouth sits centered on the cheek line. The eyes go just above the mouth, about 6 stitches apart. You can adjust slightly to your liking. Once placed, secure them with glue, so everything stays in position. Attach the cup to the arms so it looks like the panda is holding it. Bend the arm wires to shape the pose, like it's holding the straw. You can guide the straw toward the mouth for a more natural look. Add some glue and secure the cup into place. You can also add small beads as pearls on the cup. Just decorate as you like. And that's it for today. I'd really love to see your finished piece. If you feel like sharing, and if you get stuck anywhere, just leave me a comment. I'll be right here with you.